This is Dunham Massey Hall near Altrincham. 100 years ago it was turned into a hospital to look after the troops injured in the First World War. The National Trust team have looked at scrapbooks, photographs, diaries and letters to recreate what was then known as Stamford Hospital. This is the actual ward where the soldiers were looked after. The lady of the house, Lady Stamford, thought that Dunham was right as a hospital, but really for officers. She reckoned it wasn't suitable for Tommies. But of the nearly 300 men treated here, not one officer. They were all Tommies. You rather hope they didn't make a mess.
Lots of houses, Victorian villas all around this area were opening up as hospitals. There were well over 3,000 auxiliary hospitals in people's homes by the end of the First World War.
This is a grand staircase, one of the poshest bits of the house. There are portraits on the walls. This one here is a Van Dyck. So why would you put an operating theatre here? Well, the answer is it was 100 years ago. This is one of the few places in the house that had clean running water and the all-important sink. One of those operated on here was William Johnston, a Scottish soldier. He had shrapnel wounds. He complained of severe headaches and X-rays showed he had 2 shell fragments in his brain. They removed one but couldn't reach the other. He died in Manchester Royal Infirmary a few days later.
This is the Great Hall and it was turned into the recreation room for the soldiers, so it's where they would have come to eat the meals, play games, write letters. They could play the piano and the gramophone as well in here.
A key document was the logbook kept by Sister Bennett, the senior nurse who ran the hospital.
This is the basis of our story. This is our first stopping point really in our archival research, and this is where she logs every single patient, their admission and what they were treated for, and then what happened to them afterwards.
Another useful source was interviews that Lady Jane Grey gave to the National Trust in the 1980s.
My word, what those wretched men suffered terribly, because they all had to be undressed and bathed twice a day, morning and evening, and some were absolutely in agonies.
The sister of Lord Stamford, Lady Jane Grey, she trained as a VAD nurse and worked first in another hospital in Altrincham. And then when this hospital opened, she started to work here with the patients in her own home.
There was a strange kind of social reversal here. Young men from the back streets of Glasgow, Salford and Birmingham, farmhands and labourers, got to punt on the lake, play chess in the drawing room and play croquet on the lawn, a world away from the life they lived and the life they would return to.
I get the feeling that it was as happy a place as it could be, given the things that people were coming here with. It really was all about giving people the best chance they had. There was laughter, there was fun, there was banter, but there was also a real sense of duty and patriotism as well.